What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
You gives a shit about where the ball's been.
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. Literally, I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
He does things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. And was it aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the weekly recap from We Are Soccer. Lots and lots to get to, as usual. Another heavy weekend for all the EPL clubs. There was a huge upset in Germany. Did you hear about it? Along with some protests. What are the protests about? Why are the fans throwing RC cars, chocolate coins, and tennis balls on the field? Well, our German guy, Nate, will explain that in a little bit. The MLS referees are striking. The season kicks off on Wednesday. Yep, we'll talk about that and why that is happening. There was a WSL, Women's Soccer League, in England, record attendance set. We'll talk about that, along with much, much more. All right, just want to say a big thank you to our partners. Thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. You guys downtown Detroit show all the games. We want to say a big thank you there. Thank you to Next Level Training. The boys, along with Aaron, are some of the best trainers around. Thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. My kids participated in several Jaguars events this weekend. Couldn't be happier. Such a great club and the experience they provide. Wonderful atmospheres. All right, let's see who we've got here in the studio with me today. Unfortunately, Danny is away, but we do have Nate holding it down for the Man United crew. Nate, how are you, my friends?
Fantastic. You also forgot the model airplanes, too. Model airplanes.
They threw model airplanes as well?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The creativity is awesome.
Oh, the Germans, when they do something, they do it all the way.
We'll get into it, but this is like next level creativity on that stuff. So they took it to an all-night level. I'm doing great. All the teams I wanted to win won, and all the teams I wanted to lose lost. And right now, actually, Stuttgart is closer to second place than Munich is to first place. Uh-oh. And that has me tingly all over with joy.
And that's why he's sitting down, folks.
That has me happier than a Brooks Lambier at a lacrosse match.
Oh, wow, you are happy. Oh, good Lord. Speaking of Brooks, how are you, my friend? A hamburger shirt. What the heck is that all about, my friend? Explain.
I don't know. I have a shirt like this, and I don't know. It's lifting fries. It's benching fries. I don't know. They look pretty heavy.
Man, it makes me happy.
It definitely, it's a unique one there, my friend. I like it.
Exactly. What did I do? You know what? You guys are gonna hate me. I actually they call it the 6v6 championship series for the PLL. Was on this weekend. I've been watching a little bit of that with some soccer.
I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah,
you might as well just spoke to me in Chinese. And
I know, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It was been a good weekend and whatnot. I don't know. I've just been relaxing. Tomorrow I took the day off, so I'm happy with that. So
look at you,
weekend.
Look at you, my friend. All right, well, maybe beers after the show, huh?
Maybe.
All right. All right, guys, listen, lots to get to. Do us a favor if you're watching. Chime in. Put something in the comments there, no matter where you're at. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, put a comment in there. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and let us know how crap our opinions are. All right, lots and lots to get to. What we're calling now is the game of the week. Boys, in my opinion, that was the Manchester City-Chelsea game this week. I mean, two heavyweights going at it. One of them on a little bit of a downslide over the last year. Chelsea, right? Last 2 years. I tell you what, though, Chelsea, they played really well 10 days ago against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, going to Villa Park, trouncing Villa 3-0. Then they show up at the Etihad and play against Man City, and you're thinking, it could get ugly here if Chelsea don't show up. They go a goal ahead. They were the better team in the first half. I thought they could have been up 3-0 at the half, to be honest. But tale of two halves. We'll get to that. Finished 1-1. Nate, your thoughts on this Man City-Chelsea game, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, you could have fooled me saying that they were sitting around 10th, 11th, mid-table with the way they looked. They looked good. And honestly, they had a couple chances, like you said, in the first half to go up even by more. And really the chance that blew it for me the most, and you saw Jackson just losing his mind at Enzo. When he was totally free at the top of the box, about to crank a shot. I don't know what he was thinking. He just ran right in, basically right into him, totally messed up everything. If it wasn't for that, I think Chelsea would have been up 2-0. City also, though, had their opportunities as well. You had their Erling Haaland diving header that was like a near miss, and that's unusual because normally he buries those.
He was a little off. He was a little off this weekend.
But
just couldn't find that little groove. He was off.
He's coming back from a bit of injury or time off too, so that could be it. Just a little bit of ring rust, if you will. But I thought the movement from both teams were phenomenal. On the backs of somebody ruining it for me and telling me the score prior to me watching the game.
Sorry about that.
So I watched it after the United game. United Luton, that Champions League preamble match that
two
we'll see next
heavyweights going at it.
For sure, right? No, but you see the movement in that, and it was just very jerky and sloppy and bad giveaways, and it wasn't fluid. And then you watch something like City and Chelsea, and I'm not even a fan of these two teams, to be frank. But
it was entertaining.
The movement was great.
Yeah.
The movement was great. There was a bit of Chelsea had a bit of a connection right in that first half, around the first 20 minutes, where it was just passing out, in, out, flick in, out, and then breaking a guy free. It just looked really good.
You could tell the game plan was when they won the ball, because they knew City was going to have a lot of possession. You could tell when they won the ball deep in their own end, pass the ball out to Jackson, and not to turn. Don't pass it over his head. Pass it to his feet. Let him come to it. Let him lay it off. He laid it off, and then he turned and passed in, right? There was some defined tactics there. Not the most technical tactics in the world of find your striker's feet, let him lay it off, and then watch him turn and push him in through the middle or down the sides, but some great tactics. The amount of odd man rushes in this game was crazy. This is the game that happened, I think it was in November. I think it was late November, mid-November, early December, something like that. The 4-4 at Stamford Bridge, Man City, Chelsea. What a game that was. Again, in that game, I think we thought, all right, this is the Chelsea we've all been expecting. This is the Chelsea that spent £1 billion in the last 24 months. This is the one we've been waiting to see, and they're going to cruise on from here, and they didn't. But I really do think in the last 2-3 weeks, we're seeing the real Chelsea. They're figuring out how to play Caicedo and Enzo and Palmer in the middle. They're figuring it out. And today, like you said, Nate, I'm not a fan of either two of these teams, but man, was that an entertaining game. It was yesterday, but what an entertaining game.
I'll take it a step further. I think they just figured out their back line, and I think it helped solidify it.
Yeah.
They looked good. They looked good. They looked organized. They looked compact, and they needed to be compact. I believe it was Gusto that the deflection went off, and that's what it took for City to break it open. An outside the 18 cracker that hit a guy in the thigh and just happened to deflect the wrong way. You almost feel bad for it the way it went down.
Yeah.
But I thought the back four played phenomenal, well organized, compact when they needed to be, and didn't get broken down much. And we were criticizing their back line in weeks past and who they were using, but maybe it's these four that you need to just roll with from here on in.
And it needs to be it needs to be consistent. That's what it comes down to, consistency. Some of the top teams in the league have had problem with injuries and suspensions, so consistency has really been playing a problem. We'll tell you, Man United, early on in the season, consistency. They have players in and out. Villa in the last 2 months, consistency because of injuries to several players and a suspension here. It becomes that consistency thing. So in the last couple of weeks, and I think moving forward, you're right, Nate, maybe Chelsea really have found that back four, and if they can be consistent, they can really do some damage here. Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, you never would have guessed, I think, just from looking at the stats here that, that it was actually a close game. I haven't pulled up here. 31 shots for City, only 9 for Chelsea, 5 on target for Man City. Chelsea had 6 on target. Possession, 71%. Man City, 29% for Chelsea. Passes, 711 for Man City compared to 307 for Chelsea. Obviously better passing accuracy, 90% for City and 81% for Chelsea. But, in the foul range, 12 for Chelsea compared to 7 for Man City. Yellow cards 3-1, with Chelsea getting 3. Offsides, it looks like you can tell that obviously they were trying to get him behind there. Chelsea, 5 of them. The corners, 12-1 for Man City. I mean, that's just it's really lopsided, honestly, in the statisticals.
Was it really 12 corners to 1?
Yes.
In favor of. Wow, I did not realize it was that lopsided on that side of the ball. But that's Man City. That's what they do. That's how they do it. And to be honest, once Rodri scored to take it to 1-1, I thought, this is it. Chelsea are going to break down now, and I think City are going to go on to win this 2-1. And good for Chelsea; they held on. I think they were well worthy of the point. I think this is a great result for them. I think this is going to spur them on even further. So, Brooks, my friend, your prediction of Chelsea finishing in higher than 11th or 11th through 20th, wherever you think they're going to finish there.
Sure.
Based on today's
Still got a long way to go to the end.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's quite a few games to go. We'll bring up the table shortly. But I tell you what we're not talking about here is Man City just dropped 2 points. Man City just dropped 2 points. They have 1 game in hand. They win that game, they'll go to first in the table by a single solitary point. They have dropped points. All the big clubs have dropped points. Liverpool chugging along. They're playing very well. Good win for them this weekend. Arsenal, big win for them this weekend. Chugging along. But early in the year, they dropped points. So I still think it's a 3-horse race here between Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City. Why don't we go ahead and bring up that table really quick? There you got. After 25 games, Liverpool right now on 57 points. Arsenal, after 25 games, 55 points. And look at me, I was wrong there. Manchester City, game in hand, 24 games, 53 points. If they win that game in hand, they go to 56, so they'll be a point behind Liverpool. Liverpool leading the way. I tell you what, plus 35 for them, 17 wins. They just keep moving along. They rotate those midfielders inside and out. They are doing a phenomenal job. So there's your top, let's go with the top 7. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, Man United, and Brighton, Hove Albion. Brighton getting a very nice win as well. We'll get to that. Again, I think the game of the weekend was absolutely the most entertaining one. Man City versus Chelsea. Couldn't have been happier to watch that one and go back and rewatch it. Did not realize, though, after all that, the amount of corners. That blows me away. 12-1? Mm-hmm. 12-1. Yeah. I think if you're a betting man, you should have taken the over because based on the goal scoring that happened in the first game, meant there was a lot of chances and a lot of opportunities. It was 4-4 in that first game at Stamford Bridge. Let's get to some of the other results that happened this weekend for the Premiership. We start with the early game that happened. 4-1 Liverpool at Brentford. Ivan Toney getting a consolation goal, but Liverpool chugging along, doing what they do. Darwin Núñez scoring again, popping up and playing well in the last month and a half, Mr. Núñez. 4-1 Liverpool. I tell you what, boys, they are really, after 25 games, probably the team that's been in form the most this season, the most informed team. I think it comes down to Liverpool versus Man City at the end in the last couple of games. Anyone here, boys, betting on Liverpool? Or are you still, if you had to put that money on Man City? What are we doing?
To win the league?
To win the league, my friend, yes. Where's your money going?
It's
gonna be close.
It is going to be close.
gonna be
But
close.
that's what we want. We want that close.
It's gonna be close.
It is.
I'm gonna say Liverpool because they're gonna do it for Klopp.
Ooh, the extra motivation, huh?
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna say City because you're a farm league now. Welcome to the farm, boys.
Yeah.
E-I-E-I-O.
I don't know
On the
about
year
that.
I don't know, City just does it again. You know, I'm sick of watching the Premier League. There's only one winner.
You can
Only
say
one
it, you can say that
winner.
now because your Bundesliga is about to have a
Don't
different
jinx
winner.
it. Don't fucking.
I mean,
stop.
12,
Stop.
11
Nope.
years in
No.
a row.
Yeah, well, it's
been
gonna be like,
Bayern
what is it,
Munich.
6 now? It starts with 1. It starts with 5 or 6. Was it?
Oh, we'll get to it, but I fully believe that, and they will. I think Bayer Leverkusen win the league, but that's a one-off.
Oh, that's gonna be so a one-off.
It's gonna be a
They're
one-off.
gonna be picked. They're gonna be picked clean like a dead carcass in the Serengeti by a
Yeah.
pack of vultures, my friend.
20 years from now, you're gonna look back
Xavi's
through the books
gone.
and you're gonna go 11 years in a row. Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen won. Look at that in the 2023-24 season, and then Bayern Munich won the next.
I don't know.
9 years in a row.
I'll say this. Munich has. We'll get to it later, but Munich has issues.
Oh, they really do.
Munich has issues.
Taxi cab for Mr. Tuchel. He could be on his way out.
I don't think so.
Oh, we'll talk because they don't want to be paying a third coach, 3 coaches at the same time.
They don't want it to look bad. They already came out and said he's going nowhere.
Oh, we'll get to it. Lots more to get to there. Let's get back to the Premiership. Burnley 0, Arsenal 5. Oh my word! 2 weeks in a row, 2 games in a row now for Arsenal where they scored more than 5 goals. Wow!
Did the opponents against Arsenal forget that they're supposed to show up and play?
Supposed to show up and play 2 weeks in a row. West Ham last week. This week it was Burnley. Hey guys, it's Arsenal. They're second in the league. You may want to show up with a good tactical plan in place to try to stop them from scoring.
By the way,
Just
yeah,
saying.
you left them out of like the hey, who's gonna win it competition. Let's not forget they're knocking around the.
Would you put money on them? Would you put money on them?
It's a 3-point race right now. It's gonna happen one of these days,
It does have to happen one of these
right?
days.
Like,
Yeah.
would I put money in Leverkusen? No. Am I waiting for Stuttgart's tires to fall off the car, which won't happen because they're actually really good? Yeah, you know, like, come on, like,
You wouldn't put money on Leverkusen right now?
I can't because I'm
Trying to jinx it.
afraid.
They're 8 points
I'm
ahead.
afraid, Craig. Craig, I'm afraid. Okay, I'm afraid. I'm a
Listen,
scared
you're-
man. This is too good to be true. I'm wetting my drawers right now.
You're afraid.
I am afraid.
You're afraid of a lot
This
of
has happened
things. The
before and
dentist, the
Bayern's come
dark,
back, right?
And,
I
and
need to be
people who are taller than you.
Dortmund.
Yes,
But-
with Dortmund. Yes, I remember
Remember,
that.
all Dortmund had
Yes.
to do was beat
One
the
game.
Worst.
No.
They didn't have to beat. They had to tie
Yes.
the worst team in the league at home.
At home.
Correct.
And they left the best player in the world on the bench.
And they left Jude Bellingham
on the
the
bench.
bench.
Yes.
Because they're idiots.
All it took was, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we were there last year.
Yes.
But that's also why I think Munich's dominance is really going to be shaking.
You know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll
We are
get
getting
to
ahead
the
of
Bundesliga. We'll
Let's get back to Arsenal being
the
an
Bundesliga.
actual title contender. Because
I want to
they're
know.
only
I want to
2 points
know.
out.
I want to know people who's watching. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Man City? They come through like they usually do, or is it going to be Liverpool? Or as Nate just said, hey, don't forget about Arsenal.
You can't. They're
Arsenal.
right there.
They're all right there.
They're-
But Arsenal after last year falling away like they did. I think it's Liverpool because they're so in form this year. They haven't found a way to give it up yet. They've just every single time keep plugging away and winning games.
Yep.
And Man City are, Man City. They do this.
Arsenal beat Liverpool.
Yeah, they
Arsenal
do.
has to play Chelsea.
I mean,
They're in the hunt.
I want to know what people are thinking. Are they thinking that it's going to be? Are they thinking that that Arsenal really could pop up here and take it? Because, man, I don't know. For me, I do think Liverpool put up a hell of a fight, but in the end, they lose by 1 or 2. Yeah. We'll see what happens. That's just my thoughts. All right, let's get back to some of those results that happened this weekend. There was another weekend of just goals in the Premiership. VAR tried to stop a lot of them, by the way. VAR, you sneaky bastard. You weren't able to, though. You weren't able to. The goals were pouring in. As we just mentioned, Arsenal 5, Burnley 0. Fulham at home 1. My Aston Villa 2. Ollie Watkins, both goals. Ball was actually in the net 3 times in the first half. 3 goals. chalked off sides. That's the way it goes. I thought Fulham, for the money, they were not very good in that first 60 to 70 minutes. But after that, they put a ball in the net. Horrendous mistake by Villa in the back. No communication. Fulham pip one into the back, and all of a sudden, it's locked down the rear hatch here and see if we can hold on. And Villa luckily held on, and they very much needed 3 points for my Aston Villa there. Newcastle United 2, Bournemouth 2. This one was up at St. James's Park in front of 52,000 people. Newcastle United, they've hit the skids in the last couple of months, boys. They're running into some trouble. They're going to need to spend some money. There's rumors about Eddie Howe being on the way out.
Well, who was
a little worried about that.
Their technical director or someone just resigned. Ashworth.
Well, he's being offered more money by the red half of Manchester, so he's on his way.
How you doing there?
Oh, it's you.
So here's the funny thing. I was thinking about that actually on the way here. Thinking about that Newcastle Bournemouth game, and then the what position is the fellow who's leaving? He's heading to Man United.
Sporting director.
Sporting director.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, Man United have now taken a sporting director from Newcastle. They've taken a general manager from Man City. Look at that. Manchester United coming into 2024. They are going to stop operating like it's 1992, and they're going to put people in place to actually, because we've talked about this isn't a knock on the club. They've been operating the same way since 1992. And that's what's caused them problems.
They've been the only club without a damn sporting director.
Right.
Like,
I think they finally figured it out. We need these positions.
Indo's coming to the rescue.
Apparently.
Good old Jimmy Ratcliffe.
Jim Ratcliffe finally
throwing the bills around.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's throwing the money around. And I tell you what, if someone from in the same industry that I worked in came in and said, "Hey, we're gonna double your wages," whoa. Yeah. Let's talk. Let's talk this through, my friend. I'm on my way to you.
It's not even that. Like, double their wages, historic club, talking about building a new stadium. They actually have designs and looking to get it approved. You know, they're really
wait.
Yeah.
Old Trafford.
Yeah, it looks like a really fancy stadium. I saw the renderings.
Old
the renderings are never
Trafford
the same.
is going to go down the toilet for a new stadium?
Yes,
Like-
it's going to be New Trafford.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
It's like it's.
Why haven't I seen this?
It's
Interesting.
been on the internet. It's been floating
It
around.
looks like a
There's a
World
lot
Cup
of stuff
stadium,
on the internet, though.
like Wembley.
I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed yet, but
It's not.
They're talking about basically demolishing Old Trafford, shifting it, and in the space like slightly behind right over there. Yeah. So it looks like an exciting project that you might want to be a part of if you're someone interested in that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're coming from two organizations that have kind of done similar and you're tapped out at that point.
No, I get that. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. It's not about wages. It's also about ambition, right?
Yeah.
And
the wages. But don't get me wrong, the wages are there, but it's also, you look at what the project that they're trying to put forward and they're actually trying to do and make real changes to, as you said, modernize, bring up to snuff, put toilets in a building.
stop the leaks in the roof of the fans so they can actually enjoy
Have
them.
edible food at the stadium.
Right.
You know, crazy stuff.
Stop moving some of the legends of the games whose you've given seats to, removing those. No, White Cross for one.
Functioning lights, wild
Functioning
stuff.
lights.
Well, New Trafford's going to have all that.
New Trafford. Yeah, I wonder
Yes.
what the name of it will be. Actually,
Yes.
it'll be.
It'll be Old Trafford. Part 2.
I think with what money they'll have to put into it, they'll put a naming.
Sir
right.
Alex Trafford.
No, they'll put in naming rights. It'll be like
know.
Walmart, or Ineos, right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
probably Old Indios Trafford.
old Ineos Trafford, whatever.
The
yeah.
third. Radcliffe.
Back third.
Newcastle on a bit of a slide there. We'll bring up the table once again shortly here. Newcastle United 2, Bournemouth. Bournemouth pulling out a lot of results, by the way. Bournemouth have pulled out some results in the last couple of months that you would not expect. When you have to play Bournemouth, you have to be prepared. They will punch you in the face. Solanke as a goal scorer, and he always seems to pop up with a goal. They will... If they play any of the big boys in the last several games of the season, they could ruin someone's campaign. That could be
Chelsea?
That could be it could be a Chelsea who's trying to get into the top 7. It could be a Man United who's trying to get into the top 4. It could be a Villa who's trying to get into the top 4. It could be a Tottenham who's trying to get into the top 4. It could be
Would you like to know
a
Bournemouth's schedule?
Liverpool. Yes. Read backwards from their last game onward. Who do they have, Brooks?
Okay. Well, funny we still go at Chelsea. That's the last game of the season.
Okay.
It
All right.
is
So
the-
if Chelsea are into the top 10 and maybe even vying for a top 7 to get into Europe next year,
Yes.
watch out because Bournemouth could ruin your day.
Yep. So
All right.
on the 19th, that's Chelsea and Bournemouth, and then Bournemouth play Brentford on the 11th of May,
Okay.
and then we have Arsenal and Bournemouth on May 4th.
Okay, hold tight on that one. So you're telling me 3 games before the end of the season, third game towards the end of the season there, Arsenal have to play Bournemouth. Is that at Bournemouth or is that first team listed should be a home team?
So the first team, yes, then it's at Arsenal.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
all right.
Yes, and then the 27th, we have my Seagulls against Bournemouth, and that's at Bournemouth.
Brighton still trying to get into Europe there. Could be pipping in for 7th or 6th, so that could ruin their day.
Yes, the 20th, we have your Villa hosting Bournemouth.
Oof. Oh, we're hosting. That's right. We went down there. I believe we drew.
Yeah.
We went down and we were very lucky to draw actually. Okay, so that could ruin. They could sneak points away from us at Villa Park.
The 13th, they host a Man United at Bournemouth.
Okay, they could interrupt a Man. They host Man United, so Man United have to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that could put a little bit of a dent in their hopes there.
And then they go to Luton on the 6th of April.
Luton, who need points, are fighting for points. That's an interesting one. Okay, one more. Who they got?
And Crystal Palace on the 2nd go to Bournemouth.
No. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting, but I'm telling you right now, Villa, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, watch out for Bournemouth, man. They've done it before and they'll do it again. They put up a good fight and just took a point up at Newcastle this weekend. Tottenham Hotspur at home hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. If you're a betting man, you'd say Tottenham at home, Mickey Van de Ven's back, Madison's back, Kulusevski's been playing well, Richarlison's been putting the ball in the net. Yeah, let's go with Ange Postecoglou and his Tottenham Hotspur team. Nope, you'd be wrong. Tottenham won, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
João Gomez, 2 goals.
Gomez, 2 goals. What a turnaround this has been. Now, Tottenham starting out the season in unbelievable form, had some injury issues, some suspension issues, some issues they caused themselves, and they've just been on a slide ever since. They cannot seem to find that form again. It's really a struggle for them. They're dropping out quicker than a stone in water. Nate, I really think Man United at some point here is going to overtake them for 5th position. There was an article in The Athletic this past week that said Manchester United have the predictability of towards the end of the season that they will most likely stay in 6th. Tottenham will stay in 5th. And I went, I don't think so. This is 2 teams who in the form has just switched from the first half of the season. I think Man United take Tottenham.
So I think 4th, 5th, and 6th is just as open as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's you're just a little bit different there. You got 49, 47, 44. They're all like basically a game apart, and they're all depending on the day they're great, and depending on the other day they're really struggling. So it really just depends on what day that's going to be. So I think it's just as open.
You're not wrong. I mean, there you go. Villa in 4th on 49 points. Tottenham in 5th on 47. And after 3 points today for Manchester United in 6th on 44. Goodbye to 7th and below. Good luck with the rest of your season. But this is a top 6 moving forward. And these are the boys who are going to fight it out. We've got right now the top 3 fighting for position number 1. And the positions 4 through 6 fighting for that 4th spot. Because that's the magical number.
Wow.
Now, are you going to say the same thing I am about the potential 5th?
Yeah,
European spot?
I think we're sitting there thinking of the same thing now.
I think I'm gonna throw. I got to get my wallet out. I'm going to show you. I'm the president. I'm the official and honorary president of the Man United Haters Club.
He not only just a member, but the president.
But the president.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm not only a member, but I'm also the president.
When's the I Hate Man United end of the year party?
Well,
We have one of those every day.
yeah,
Every day?
it's every Tuesday actually.
Ah.
we have a weekly party.
Yeah.
Are you invited?
I get joke invites. It's not Thomas McGee's every Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Visit us at Thomas McGee's, where we hate Man United and we drink beer. You can watch all the games, all the soccer games on the television, including Man United games at Thomas McGee's. But here's the funny thing I was thinking the other day. Wouldn't it be fucking ironic? Wouldn't it be ironic for all us Man United haters, as I've been dubbed, if Man United finish in 5th this season? And wouldn't you know it, England win that final European spot. So now it's not the top 4 teams who go to the Champions League, it's the top 5. And Man United get in that way. Wouldn't it be ironic for all us Man United haters? Like, oh, crap.
And I think there's several ways to do it, because they could win. If an England team wins Europa, they get the extra spot. If the England team wins Champions League, you get the extra spot.
Yeah, it's a combination of everything. How the teams are doing, how far they go in Europa Conference League.
If you win the Europa, this is what happened to in Germany. When you win the Europa, if you're already qualified for Champions League, you get that spot bumps. It doesn't just disappear; it goes to the next closest team, which is your 5th ranked team.
Right.
So if Arsenal wins the Europa, it's not that the Premier League's without a Champions League spot. They don't lose one; they get it through the Europa, and then the 5th place team is entered into the Champions League. And Arsenal,
ironic, is it not?
Do that.
Arsenal definitely could do that.
Or actually, Liverpool could also do that.
Win Europa, I think.
Sorry, Arsenal's still in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Liverpool
could definitely win Europa.
Liverpool could win Europa.
Could absolutely do it.
They probably should win.
And it's the same thing with the Champions League, which Arsenal maybe, City could. So there's a couple variables there where that 5th spot is actually a Champions League spot, which means the 6th is actually a Europa League spot, which isn't too bad to have nowadays, actually, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Working Man's League.
The Working Man's League.
You can make a cool $80 million and still come out with a trophy and a Champions League spot, too.
Agreed. All right, well, let's finish up with the EPL. So Tottenham 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. We'll put that table back up when we finish the chat here. And the other game we talked about yesterday, Man City 1, Chelsea 1, as we've talked about. That was at the Etihad Stadium. Sunday today, February 18th, saw Sheffield United the bed again.
What a tackle on Mitoma, though. He went so high into him.
What was that?
I don't know.
That wasn't just over the ball. That was
into his thigh.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Full red card. If you haven't seen this tackle, go see it.
I'm surprised Mitoma still played after that.
Oh, my word. That could have been career-ending how bad that was.
Oh, you guys. It's a contact sport.
Yeah.
It's maybe a warning.
A warning? Yeah. He was actually diving. Mitoma's
diving.
Get out your diving towel, Mitoma. That was
Mitoma didn't fall into that guy's cleat.
Exactly. He almost hurt his cleat.
He should have got a card. He should have got a card for simulation.
Yes. So, but Sheffield United, I'm sorry. Goodbye. You are not Premiership fit. Goodbye. We will see you never again, probably. Brighton Hove Albion 5. Brighton Hove Albion did not stop. They know goal difference could play a big factor in this at the end of the year. They went at it. Could have been 7 or 8, to be honest. They get a little unlucky. Sheffield United, oh my word, they had 2 or 3 chances, I think, inside of the 6, and just flashed headers well wide. Like, come on. How do you miss those? Just very similar to Erling Haaland's day of it's just not your day and not your weekend.
Yep.
Erling Haaland not able to score the goals quite as well as he was earlier in the year or last year. The other last game of the weekend was Luton Town, the Giants of Luton Town, at home, Kenilworth Road, holding 11,483 people, hosting Manchester United. Man United come into this in really good form, and another player in good form, scoring in 5 straight goals, Rasmus Højlund, and they said, I know how to stop him. 37 seconds in, we'll put him on a breakaway with our keeper. What? I literally turned on the television as he was on the breakaway, and I went, how the hell did that happen? What were you doing? Terrible. Luton Town, you are terrible. So that's not how to start a game out against Man United at home, by the way. Then Rasmus Højlund pops up, whether it was accident, whether it was on purpose, his second goal of the game. There you go. 2-0 after 14 minutes. Sorry. right? Was it the 14th minute?
No,
16th minute? Whatever it was.
7th minute.
7th minute was the second goal, right? First minute, 37 seconds, first goal. 7th minute, Hoyland pops up with the second goal, 2-0. Now, record breaking with that first goal, the youngest player, 6 straight Premiership games with a goal. The youngest player, 21 years old, so 114 days, I want to say. I read the graphic, wrote it down, and now I can't remember. 21 years old, some odd days. Congratulations to him. That's actually a very cool record. But then I feel like Man United, the defense went to pieces, and Luton Town put the ball in the back of the net off a deflection. And then for the I think for the next 30 minutes, it was all Luton Town. Luton Town, if they'd had a little bit more class and composure, it could have been 3-2 at the half to them. Man United didn't seem to get really into the game. Casemiro, lucky to be on the field. In my opinion, not a second bookable offense. I didn't think it was. I'm glad the referee didn't give it. He stayed on there. Maguire with a poor tackle, picked up his card. Both had to be subbed at the half. But the subs actually, in my opinion, helped Man United, the better team in the second half. Some good opportunities to really put the screws into it and go up 3-1. Some good goalkeeping. A little bit of bad luck. Garnacho, not sure why he rounds the keeper and doesn't finish, but overall, they deserved the points for the second half performance.
I was just going to disagree with the fact that United. I mean, it was bad, but
What was bad?
United
For the about 20 to 30 minutes in that first half, the second part.
for the rest of the game.
Oh, okay. I thought they were worth the money in the second half.
I mean, I thought they were poor. You know what I mean? I thought they were poor. I thought they were lacking.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they left a lot of chances dry. Like and you just brought it up to Garnacho. This XG for this game was 3 to United. They should have easily had.
Bruno rounds the goalkeeper.
Yep.
Garnacho rounds the goalkeeper. Should have had that third goal, and that would have put the
Rashford
game
had
away.
one too that was just like sailed over. You know, so and the goalkeeper made a couple like really good saves as well.
The one on Rashford for the top of the box, so getting down to his left, I thought was a great.
You
save.
got to give the hats off to him. I think he had six or 8 saves or something like that.
Yep.
And they were clutch. You know, so they had 9 shots on target, I believe, and 20 shots overall. They had their chances. They squandered their chances.
They did.
I thought they lost their subs. You know, again, Casemiro, for what you want to say about him with sometimes his tackles that seem to be, I think it's age and speed.
I say he's just a little late. I think that age.
Right when that happened, it instantly flashed my brain to something that you said about his age and the speed of the Premier League just catching him, and I was like, yeah, it probably wasn't intentional, but it looked like you're just late.
You're just
you know what I mean?
a little late. And then
just
you
a
get
little
in
bit.
trouble because you step on
Yep.
someone or you nick their ankle and they go down. And these days, it's a yellow card.
Yep.
And the one he was late on, the second one, after he gotten booked about 5 minutes before, Luton Town were up in arms thinking it's a yellow card. That's not a yellow card. It's just a foul.
Yeah.
It's just a foul. And listen, again.
And honestly, I think you could have flipped them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the first one was more like just a foul, and the second one was more cardable.
Yeah,
but,
but from my seat as the president and card holder, member of the I Hate Manchester United fan club,
correct.
I was hoping it would get a yellow card. But in all honesty, as a soccer fan, I said, that is not a yellow card. That man does not deserve to be sent off. One hand, hey, send him off. On the other hand, no, let's continue. Let's not get down that, because I cannot stand it when referees see that someone has been just a little nick or a little this and it's a yellow card. It's like, come on, man. Let's just play the game. That if the guy intentionally did it, now we're talking yellow card. So I'm happy to see that he stayed on the field. But Nate, you're right. I think his age is just, it's catching up.
Yep.
I think it's just getting to the point now where he's gonna need to be the guy that comes off the bench. He's not gonna be the starter.
The issue is you don't have a solid replacement,
Right.
And you saw it when Mikitomi came in. It got real loose and goose right in that center. It wasn't you lost the domination that you had. You know, Manu, I think he does so well with Casemiro because he can move a little bit more freely, knowing that he's going to cover ground and cover area and space. And honestly, him, Hoyland, Fernandez, and Delotte. Those guys are working their tail off on that team, and the rest are kind of. Garnacho did okay, but like
not
again,
a typical Garnacho game today, in my opinion.
No, I thought he lost the ball a lot. I thought he was just trying to do too much.
Yeah.
And again, you saw it when he had that opportunity to score, and for whatever reason, he tried to be cute, fancy, and then it all got caught. So that wasn't today. Today, definitely not his game.
You know what? So I received a couple of text messages from people today who said, watching that Man United game, they said, with how poorly Man United are playing, how did Villa lose 2 games to this team? And I said, and my response was, Man United's our bogey team. We always lose to Man United. I just think it was a poor game for Man United. I don't think they played as poorly as you think there, Nate, but, whatever opinions. Brooks, what I'd like, if you could you do me a favor? Could you pull up the schedule for Man United, their EPL schedule? Actually, just pull up the schedule, because I'd like to see what the games they got and how quick they're going to come, because now Shaw went off injured, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue as well, right?
No, he went off in a yellow too, so that's.
But I thought they said he was injured as well.
Yeah, he had a yellow.
He was on a yellow, yes.
He was on a yellow. There's 3 players on the yellow. They're at risk of getting, reds. Let me preface what I mean by not good.
Yeah.
Okay. They're out of 5 games, I believe. There's 6 games, 5 wins, 1 draw. So their form's actually really solid, right?
Oh, absolutely. It has been top team in the last 5 weeks.
But when you see the fluidity of a Chelsea or a City,
Nailed it.
that's what I'm talking about. Yep. It looks like you're pushing, prodding, and forcing at times. When certain players come out and others are replaced in, it then just turns into giant holes.
Yep.
And you can tell there's good talent out there, and then there's missing pieces out there to support that talent.
And if you would have taken that Man United team and the way they played today, and maybe I'm going too far when I say this, and substituted out Luton Town and put in a Chelsea or a Man City, you would have gone, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
This is, but,
and not to
ifs and
take
buts and all
anything
that
away from Luton Town. That's a hard environment to play in.
Yeah.
You could hear audibly hear, I was going to say visibly, but you can't hear audibly hear people yelling, wanker! To the point where they had to apologize, because that's how compact and close.
Brilliant, isn't it? That's the way football's supposed to be.
You can hear the crowd yelling from what is normally muted on your TV because of the proximity of everything, but because everything's so tight and clear and hit in there, you're walking into essentially a League 3 stadium that's gotten up to a League 1 environment. It's surrounded by houses. You're walking through weird
old ladies' backyards.
Exactly.
To the stadium.
Fans sitting on top. So it's that all has a factor to it. You know what I mean? And it makes it a tough environment, which is again why you told me in our chat that you think they're going to be relegated. I still think they're going to stay afloat. I don't think they're going to be relegated.
We'll bring up the table here in a minute. We'll discuss.
I think they're not going to they're going to barely make it.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought. But I think they're going to stay up.
All right, Brooks. What's the remaining schedule for Man United there?
Just league games?
No, whatever you got up. I'd like to know, because some of the games they got in there could play a factor if they got a turnaround time of 3 days.
Yeah.
What do we got?
So I'll just kind of quickly go through them here. So the 24th of February, Man United host Fulham.
So in 6 days, they host Fulham, who are coming off. They actually had 2 wins and then a loss this past weekend to us. So okay.
Yep. FA Cup 5th round match at Nottingham Forest on the 28th.
Nottingham Forest isn't an easy place to go. It'll be interesting to see if Man United put focus on that compared to the league. Okay, next.
Nice derby match on March 3rd. At Man City.
At Man City, you got to go to the Etihad.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, how close is that Nottingham Forest game to?
So this is a leap year, so it's the 28th and then the 3rd. So I believe this is your leap year. So
4 to 5 days there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 4 to 5 days from going from Nottingham Forest to the Etihad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Everton go to Man United on the 9th.
They'll beat Everton the way they're playing lately.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So not the toughest schedule in the world, but there is 1 or 2 that could cause some blips there. All right. It'll be interesting to see after that Everton game really where Man United are at in the table, and how, I think a lot of it depends on how the other teams around them have done.
March is a very easy month for them after City. It's Everton, Sheffield, and then Brentford.
Oh, you poor bastards. Okay. Yeah. That is an easy. That is a very easy.
Then April's tough, where they play Chelsea, Liverpool.
Oh my!
Back to back. So
What else? Who else they got in April there?
Chelsea, Liverpool, Bournemouth.
As we said, Bournemouth they'll put up a fight.
And Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
But Liverpool and Newcastle's at home.
Okay. Well, it's Liverpool, right? You expect, no offense when I say this, the way as I said earlier.
I mean, if they're
in the best form in the season, I expect them all 3 points.
if they're trying to win, a trophy, and that's Klopp's last game, he
ain't gonna want to lose at Old Trafford in one of his last.
There's gonna be a lot of emotions, and I always say emotions can be the X factor in these things.
Yeah. I would say if you had to ask me right now, I'd put money on Liverpool probably winning by a goal, 2-3 goals in that one. But it's a derby.
Money on United winning 5-0, and then after I wake up from my boner liquor haze of that, I will quickly ask BetKings back for my money.
Yeah.
To reverse
I was about to say, but Man United in very good form and a very well done job. They're the youngest player to ever score in 6 straight Premiership games, Rasmus Højlund. We do have. Why don't we put up the table as it stands right now? We've talked about it down at the bottom. Sheffield United, poor, absolutely poor. Goodbye. You're on 13 points at 20th. Burnley, absolutely poor. Only 3 wins as well. 18 losses, 13 points. You are going to be gone. Now here comes the fun part. Everton sitting in that final relegation spot of 18th with 19 points. Luton Town ahead of them in 17th. With 20 points. And then Crystal Palace in 24th. Roy Hodgson taken a hospital after training or during training on Friday. Looks like they're bringing in a new manager. But I do think that Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Brentford, they're all safe at this point. More than enough points. I believe it's going to be it's going to come down to, in my opinion, those bottom 4, Luton, Everton, Burnley, and Sheffield United. I think Everton have enough class, to be honest, to get out of that. In my opinion, it's between Luton and Everton. I think Everton just have the class. I think they'll find a way. Sean Dyche will get that team. They'll pick up points. They'll pick up a point here, a point there, random win. I see them fully escaping relegation. So it would be very fitting, I guess you could say, if Everton were relegated this year with their points deduction on the cards and them needing to pretty much not spend money because they're spending over £1 billion on that new stadium that's being built. So, it's going to be an interesting one. All right, just so you're aware, there are games coming up this week for the Premiership. Monday, tomorrow, Everton, who we just spoke about, at home to Crystal Palace at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff there. Crystal Palace, could they find the new manager bounce? Could they find 3 points, very much needed 3 points? Or Everton, can they get those 3 points? Because they desperately need them to get out of that final relegation spot there. Then Tuesday, it's Man City at home hosting Brentford. Ivan Toney and his Brentford team go to the Etihad, Manchester City. Pretty quick turnaround for them. And then Wednesday, we've got Liverpool at home to Luton Town. You'll remember one of the first games this year, Luton Town gave Liverpool a really good run for their money. This game is at Anfield, so if I'm a betting man, and I'm going to bet on the amount of goals. It's probably be over 3, a Liverpool win, and I'm going to guess probably over 8 corners. So see if you can get that into plus money there, folks. All right, lots more to talk about, lots to get to here. We're talking about the MLS referees going on strike. We're talking about the Women's Soccer League in England getting a record attendance. We're talking our MLS predictions. We're talking Bundesliga protests. We've got a lot to get to, friends. We'll be right back.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh, wow, that's not MLS. Ugh.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right.
That's a mannequin, you know that.
Huh? Oh,
Mannequin.
oh. Sorry, sir.
Hug, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, lots and lots to get to as we talked about. Just coming up this half of the show, we're going to talk about our predictions for the MLS season, which kicks off this Wednesday. Inter Miami are playing who, Brooks?
Real Salt Lake.
Real Salt Lake at Inter Miami?
Yes.
At Inter Miami. That's weird. Messi and Inter Miami, the first game of the season. I wonder why they chose them to host. Oh, that's right, because it's Inter Miami and they have all those Barcelona superstars. And then we're going to talk about MLS, USL Championship, and NWSL referees going on strike. We'll give you our predictions of how the MLS season will finish. We've got a couple of things there. We're going to talk about, by the way, Josh Sargent scored in 4 straight Norwich City games. U.S. men's national team. He's finding his form. Finding his form again, huh?
Yeah, I guess
It's
the question, though, is
great to see.
what are they actually going to, with all the guys between Balogun, Pepe, and, Vasquez is starting to score for Monterrey. So, I mean, I think is it a little too late for Sargent? Does he, whose place does he take?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's never too late. You find a guy that's scoring goals, you should find a place in your team for him,
He's
right?
not playing.
No? You don't think he's going to make it?
No, because our fearless leader coach
Mr. Greg Berhalter.
doesn't know what a League 2 is.
This is true.
He
You're
doesn't- he
not
has no
wrong.
Concept. He's like, League, what? Or sorry, a second league, the championship. He's like, wait, what?
You're not wrong there, my
Is
friend.
he's scoring in the Champions League.
Where's
No,
that?
no, not- he's
What?
not.
The Champions League? He didn't know. Norwich is in the Champions League? No, Greg. No, Greg.
Greg.
No, Greg. Put down your Bud Light. The championship, my friend. Before we get to all that, though, Nate, I want to talk about what the heck is going on in Germany. Listen,
What do you mean?
games, I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard, Nate, but I know you've heard it. Listen,
What now?
there's protests going on at every single Bundesliga game. There have been airplanes, little model airplanes, as Nate was saying. There have been RC cars. There have been tennis balls. There have been chocolate coins thrown on the field. So many so, not just your onesies and twosies, tennis balls and chocolate coins and RC cars, not just ones or twos. There's been dozens upon dozens of items thrown on the soccer field, not at the players, not to hurt the players, but in protest to what's happening in Germany with the Bundesliga. Nate, can you do us all a favor? Tell us what the hell is going on in Germany with the Bundesliga and the fans.
Yeah, I'll run it all down. But before I get there, I want to say the best part of that was the RC cars with the flares taped onto them. I don't know if you saw those, but they actually taped RC car flares on the RC cars and then driving around. And you saw one of the ushers come on, kick one, but it's the double wheeled ones.
Oh, so when it flips upside down.
It's still going. It's still going. It doesn't stop. It's awesome. All right, so
that's awesome.
So what's going on?
Yeah, why? Why are the fans throwing cars?
Germans hate change.
Yeah, they definitely hate change.
They are not a fan of it.
Yeah.
So back many moons ago when I was actually living there, similar stuff, but not to this extent, happened when they announced that they were going to start doing Friday games. The ultras, what they call the big supporter groups, the ultras there, lost their damn minds. And actually, in various protest games, they went a full half without saying a word, without chanting, peeping. You could hear a pin drop. Like absolute pin drop because everyone else took note.
That's kind of awesome. That's kind of awesome.
Nobody say anything.
That's cool.
And it was. I was at that game, and you literally could hear just a pin absolutely drop in the stadium. It was silent. And then at the 40th minute,
Hold on for 1 second. That is so cool. I like there was actually a discussion in our Facebook group, the We Are Soccer Facebook group, about the difference of people and chanting and being quiet in games. So sorry to cut you off, Nate, but if I'm at a Villa game, right, and they score a goal, how do you not cheer? If you're at a Man United game or a Stuttgart game and they score, how do you go?
And that's what happened. Their goals were being scored. And nothing. And actually,
Awesome.
when anyone did, you hear a German person, and they'd point to the side. It's No flags.
He did it. He did
No,
it. He's
no,
the one
no,
making
they're pointing,
noise.
and you'd see the other German. Shoot a gun, yeah, and like.
Oh, you Germans,
They
you're
would
so
point
funny.
to the side, and they had big, basically F the DFB, and a big donger on there, like of a
So
sign.
that was
No.
because of the Friday and the Monday games.
That was or just the Friday games.
Just the Friday games.
And it was that time. And then 40 minutes to 45th minute, both supporter groups on both opposite ends. This is how organized they are. At the same time, in unison, started chanting "Shice the DFB," shit on the DFB, right, and waving flags that basically said the same, all black, right. At half, everything got converted back over.
Everything's back to normal.
Back to normal. Yeah. So what's going on? And I just wanted
why
to demonstrate
now?
that of
Why
how
now?
organized these guys are. Highly organized. So fans basically are unhappy with an agreement reached by 2/3 of the members of the German Football League. Yes, I am reading right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Which organizes the Bundesliga to transfer part of the next TV rights in return for a capital contribution to help promote the German championship internationally.
So if I'm hearing correctly,
So let me explain this in layman's terms.
I was about to say, it sounds like
Right.
the
So-
Bundesliga is they're looking for investment. They
Right.
found a private equity, a private firm to give them money.
So they desperately need investment in order to
Right.
grow the game abroad. Like I was just telling Brooks earlier before he started the show, they only have a 1% market share really within the United States, which is one of the biggest markets.
Which, by the way, blows my mind. They've only
and
got
they're
a
on
1%.
and
and
they're on
ESPN.
Yeah, right. So they don't do a very good job advertising in the United States and abroad. They've been trying to do it better because they know that's where the revenue is because they're tapped out everywhere else, like any other European team. So they sold off TV rights to basically a silent investor. Okay, why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because the agreements and the details of the agreement are completely unknown to all the supporter groups. And there's worry, and this is what they're worried about, is that the additional revenue could lead to taking away a 50+1, could lead to other issues that they don't know about if approved. I guess I'm going to read from a fan here. It explains that the protests are being organized by the ultras, but they have also the support of normal fans because the rival investors would change the face of the sport for everyone. So that's what they're worried about. They don't want the big money investment, what they got in the Premier League, games going all year round, multiple competitions. This is what the fans don't want.
What, they don't want their sport to grow even further?
They don't.
Because they only care about themselves and
They-
in the sport in their country. They
They're
don't care about
fine
growing
with
it in
it
other
growing it,
countries.
but they're not fine with it on growing it at the loss of the identity that they have within the sport. They don't want to lose the 50+1. They don't want to lose the fact that most of the supporters organize and own these clubs, and they're upset because the details of the agreement are completely unknown to everyone. And there's private newspapers that are talking about doxing some of the people who voted, like silently. And the supporters and the fans are all on board.
Interesting.
So you'd go like, how do you get RC cars in there? Well, simple. If I'm checking you and I know you're an ultra and I know what you're doing,
yeah.
I'm going to let you in because I also don't agree with it either.
Right.
So yeah, these were highly coordinated, synchronized protests that were pretty funny. Why tennis balls? Because you have to pick them up because they're on the field.
Yeah.
They're not dangerous. They're not going to hurt anyone.
Right.
So that's the other thing. They're not like destroying
they're not
property.
It's not malicious.
No, they're not
Yeah.
destroying property. They're not hurting people. They're basically going, we want to disrupt your game, so you know that we're pissed.
All right. So what's happened? What's happened this weekend is games have been delayed. A couple of them up to 30 minutes because they have to go and pick up these marbles, these chocolate coins, these RC cars, these tennis balls. They got to go around and pick them all up,
There's
and it takes time.
20 minutes of stoppage time in that,
exactly.
that
You have to-
Stuttgart and Darmstadt
You're right.
game.
So-
at
Which
halftime.
disrupts the game and disrupts the players and the
Yeah.
flow of the game, and
Yeah.
you got to get roomed up. Brooks, you've been waiting.
Well,
for
I'm just saying there's an AP article here that explains a little about it. It says the league wants to agree on a deal by the end of the month ahead of a planned auction of new TV rights for the 2025-2026 season and beyond. As the league's strategic marketing partner, CVC could get a maximum share of up to 8% of the league's commercial rights, including TV and league sponsorship income. The league says it would not allow an investor to decide on some key issues of concern to fans, such as kickoff times. Past fan protests forced the league to abandon unpopular Monday night games, as Nate said, the last of which was played in 2021.
So the problem with that statement there, and yeah, it's basically the gist of it. They're saying there's not going to be an issue, but they're not allowing people to see the agreement, and that's why people are losing their minds, because
the fans want full transparency.
The fans,
Show
because
us.
of 50+1, have full transparency because they own the clubs essentially, all but Leipzig. So they're saying you need to show us this. DFB is not showing them this, and that's what's leading them to go, okay, there's something going on here. You're not being honest. Now, DFB has opened up and said they want to do talks with these groups to explain and demonstrate basically what they're saying in person, and that probably would help. But I think would absolutely help is show everyone the agreement.
So that's probably going to happen at this point because the protests seem to be set to continue if they don't get to see it, or the deal's going to be off. But, Nate, as you said, I mean, you need to grow the sport. You can't just stay stagnant because, I'm sorry, the other leagues will pass you by. I mean, we've said
the other leagues have passed them by. This is everyone goes, well, why do you have just a one league team? It's because they have the most money, right, and because they are continually being successful. Now they've in past this year they're not smart with it, and last year they weren't smart with it, but in past years they were smart with what they had. But that's where you get into the problems that you have here. So with a single dominated team that. Yeah, DFB doesn't like it. You know what I mean? Because they understand it. The perception is boring.
Yeah. So interesting. We'll see what happens there. More protests. We'll see what other interesting things the German ultras do. I love the RC cars. I love the model airplanes and all this other stuff. But again, it's not to be malicious. It is just to put their point across and get what they want.
Yep.
The Germans are good at this.
To be a nuisance. And actually, during the Stuttgart game, you had. So why are they move all the players aside because you have to treat it like a real threat, right? Yep. But then after they did that in a minute and people were picking things up, you had like Ndavi going out there and grabbing tennis balls and like juggling them and like fans cheering and laughing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like actually kind of having a good time with it. So it's not malicious. They're not violent at least.
You do have players like Emre Can of Dortmund coming out and saying, "Listen, we get it. We absolutely get it, but." You know, it is disrupting because they disrupt the flow of the game. And he said twice we had to stop, and one for 7 minutes, the other for 13 minutes. And, it just disrupts the flow of the game. And as professionals, we don't want that. It's not how the game is supposed to be. Well, so some of the players aren't super happy with it.
Well, yeah, you're playing, and then you got to stop for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean.
and then you got to try to get going again.
Yeah, exactly. Brooks, what were you going to say?
So I just found one more article from Reuters. It kind of has some numbers here. So it says Blackstone was originally one of them, but they drop it. This is CVC and Blackstone have recently offered around 1 billion euros for the rights stake. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about billions of dollars here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's huge for the league.
All of the league's TV revenue, giving them up front that they then can turn around and invest.
Mm-hmm. And they need to be in this country. They need to be. They're on ESPN, so ESPN paid quite a bit of money, but they need to get more of the market share. I'm really surprised that the Bundesliga only has 1%, though.
That's what I read long ago. They have basically 1% of the soccer viewers.
I sort of believe it, but I sort of just go, oh, man. Yeah. I mean, it just shows that the Premiership just soaks up that majority, right?
Sure.
And we've seen that. We've talked about the demographics, and we've talked about the numbers for our show and what people want to focus on. But
I thought it was the Saudi league.
That's definitely soaking up a ton of the percentage as well.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the J League. Too.
Oh, the J League, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
With all that being said, Nate, let's get to some of the results on the field this past weekend for the Bundesliga because Bochum Giants win 3-1 over Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich, as you heard us say earlier, are now in an 8-point hole due to this loss today to Bayer Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso, 32 games unbeaten in all competitions. 32. That is a record. That is a hell of a record. Yeah. And Xabi Alonso, you're going to find yourself getting a very big pay packet come June from someone, probably Liverpool. But congratulations. And you have put the fear into Bayern Munich because they are on the struggle bus. Nate, go ahead, buddy.
Xabi Alonso just tied Bayern Munich's unbeaten record And
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
if you ask me, chances are I would say that they're probably going to beat it.
They could go unbeaten the entire year the way they're
They
playing.
got Mainz next, and Mainz has struggled about this thing. Cologne, Wolfsburg, Freiburg. I mean, you're going to go all the way, in my opinion, you're not going to get until at least April 20th to where they play some serious competition that's on the top half. And really, that's just Dortmund, Stuttgart, and Frankfurt. And then after that, you're back to playing a couple whatever.
Nate,
teams.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there are people out there watching our show. They're gonna say, yeah, but it's the Bundesliga. A good team can do that. You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's my example, and people will laugh at the example. You guys will laugh at the example, right? And listen, I played in an indoor league a couple of years ago. I had a guy who was an All-American in college playing on our team. I had a guy who received dozens of full ride scholarships a couple of years prior to playing on our league, playing on our team. We had players who could put the ball in the net. We were by far the best team in this indoor league, and we stormed people for a session or two. Yes, we won 8 games in a row. Yes, we tied a game here and there. And I tell you what, there would be a session where we would show up and lose a game or two. There was no way we ever won 24 straight games in a row. We ever went unbeaten in 32. I don't care what league you are playing in. To go unbeaten in 32 games is absolutely incredible. I don't care if you are playing in the lowest league and you are the best team. To go unbeaten in 32 games is phenomenal. That just gives so much credit, not only to Xabi Alonso, but to his team and his backroom staff.
Yeah, because mistakes can happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like slip-ups happen. And
the soccer gods don't shine upon you for a day, and the other team beats you 1-0.
And they have been traveling for the Europa as well. So it's not like they've been playing everything domestic. And honestly, I think they have a good chance of performing, if not winning the Europa. And I think you're really going to see them shine there.
What? Now, let me ask you this. They are in the Europa competition. Who else is in the Europa competition?
No one important.
Could they meet very close to the final?
They could.
And we know what happens. And then all of a sudden, you've come up against that one team in red, and then all of a sudden you get employed by them a couple of weeks, months later. Wouldn't that be ironic?
Yep.
I mean that deal could be in place, by the way, already or in the works.
I think it's already done.
I think you're right.
Yeah, they will be playing Liverpool, or could be playing Liverpool, who won their Group B.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, everyone goes, Europa. Liverpool won their Group B with 4 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah.
Against a bunch of no-name teams as well. So, again, when you're traveling around town to all these weird stadiums in that Europa League, weird stuff can happen.
So,
and
not to
Leverkusen went all 6 wins.
Yeah. Not to cut into your segment of the Bundesliga here, but I was recently, I think I said it with you guys, Stick to Football, the podcast that's got Jamie Carragher, Neville, Roy Keane, and Ian Wright. And the episode I was listening to this past week was European football, and they were talking about their experiences about going to these. And they said, everybody thinks that the biggest games are the toughest ones. They're like, they're tough, don't get me wrong, but they're like, we hated when we had to go to Steaua Bucharest or Galatasaray or Nice or somewhere.
Belgrade.
Or Belgrade or Ajax or like these smaller stadiums like Kenilworth Road where the fans are just on top of you. And they said, you'd be surprised that, Manchester United, one of the best teams in England, and Arsenal at the time, one of the best teams in England, would go away and we were thinking, we're one of the top clubs here in the world. And then all of a sudden, they'd get turned over 1-0 or draw 1-1 or 2-2. And they're like, who the hell was that team we just played? How are they that good? So, Nate, for like you just gave the example, Liverpool, they do go 4-2 in their group stage playing against some nobodies. And Bayer Leverkusen went 6-0. They won every game. I don't care who you are.
Handedly.
Like you got to be good. You got to show up every game. Bayer Leverkusen on an absolute tear. This will be the one off there, though. They'll win this. I think they will win. I think they are going to win the Bundesliga this year, and I am going to be so pleased when they do, but unfortunately, it's going to be a one-off.
Very, very possible that, then they get fleeced because a lot of their players are being talked and looked at by other teams. But, that's just the way things go. So is what it is. But, they definitely are in a chance here to win both the Pokal with who they're playing next, a League 2 team.
Yep.
Dusseldorf. And most of the Giants are out. I think there's just one more team, Gladbach, still sitting in there. So there you go. Anywho, on to the other stuff.
Yeah, what else happened in the Bundesliga this weekend, my friend?
Nothing important. Just, I don't know, Munich laying an egg against...
So I guess two U.S. men's national team things. Mahoney starting for Heidenheim at left center back.
Yep.
Or at center back, and then Aronson getting the game-winning goal for Union Berlin. I mean, that's pretty big.
Pretty big
for the U.S. men's national team standpoint.
Yeah.
Yep. Anywho, Bochum ended up beating Munich, tossing them to the third loss.
Aren't Bochum a major player in the sport within the world? Aren't
Nope.
they? They're not. Oh shoot, they're not. So, but they beat Bayern Munich, who are a giant in the sport.
Yep.
And I tell you what, it could have been worse than 3-1.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been a lot worse.
For sure. And
Yeah.
for the second game in a row, one up McKendo got a second red card, causing another game-deciding penalty,
Oh my.
just like you did against Lazio. So good on you, buddy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Nate. Didn't mean to cut you off. They got some defensive problems. Tuchel has, I think, in my opinion, no clue as what's going on with this back line right now.
They have spent more money at center back than United have spent more money at center back. That's the best comparison I could come with because
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, McKenna was a good 80-90. DeLitt was a good 80-90.
And they've got a loan of Eric Dyer.
Eric
They're having
Dyer,
to pay
which is
for him.
$4 million.
I mean,
and then they also have Heung-min Son, of the guy that they picked up from the Italian league, who is another 70, 80 million as well. And none of
He's
these
on
guys,
the Korean national team. Isn't he?
none of these guys can seem to play well in any way, shape, or form. It's pathetic.
And sorry to cut you off again, Manuel Neuer. I think since he's come back from that broken leg, I got to be honest, he is not the same player.
Time for him to go.
I think at the end of this year, I think if Bayern Munich do the right thing, they will give him a nice send-off and say, see you later, my friend. We need to be better because he's let in a couple of poor goals. I think his instincts, are failing him. He's not as quick-footed anymore.
To the MLS.
I think he needs to move to the MLS. I think Manuel
They'll
Neuer.
sell tickets.
Manuel Neuer is not the player he once was.
Yeah.
It is time to move on. So sorry, Nate.
Yeah, no
Continue
worries.
onward, my friend.
So it's across the league, and related to the national team, you got Kevin Padres playing a full 90 for Wolfsburg, who went 1-1 against Dortmund. You had
Paredes played. Okay.
Yep, as Brooks mentioned, Aronson getting the one goal winner over a 2 red card game actually against Hoffenheim and Union,
Ooh.
who also.
I like double red card games.
Double red cards, down to 10 men. Let's go. Unfortunately for Hoffenheim, Jonathan Brooks was not playing that game for whatever reason. There you go on that one. And
that was a big win for Berlin because that moved them out, further away from relegation.
Yep, they were scraping by, and then Leverkusen, like we covered, beat Heidenheim with a good John Maloney playing in there as a center back role, which he's done once or twice. And then finally, the game, the best game everyone was hoping for. Darmstadt versus Stuttgart. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
And then we'll end it. And then a special shout out to Brooks's Seagulls. Please keep giving us players and selling us players. It's much appreciated. So if you didn't know, Ndave, the striker, who is the 4th highest goal scorer and the highest German European goal scorer right now, came on loan from Brighton. Thank you very much for that, Brooks. You didn't need him. That's good stuff. Thanks. And also De Hoon just came over from back into the Bundesliga from Brighton, who actually ended up getting the 90 plus 2 minute goal right at the end to secure a win with a 10-man Stuttgart who went down. Basically, one of their players. I didn't like the call, but I got it. He was on a yellow. He got a second he whipped around and hit the guy in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it was intentional, but
just out of control, right?
It's out of control.
Got to keep your body in control in these games.
Yep. And so Stuttgart was playing basically 10-man down from the good 45th minute on. But that 45th minute sounds like, okay, whatever, but that was one of those that had a 22-minute stoppage time.
Yeah.
So really, it was very early in the game that they went down to 10 men, and then just kind of had to hold and battle. And they actually still look good. I really do think they're Champions League bound. I really do think it.
Well, let's
they're 5.
I'm going to put up that table. Go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Whip up the table. They're 5 points above Dortmund.
Yep.
I don't think Dortmund's going to stay there. I think Leipzig's going to jump them. But more importantly, they're only 4 points out of second.
Incredible.
They're 46. Munich's 50. Leverkusen has the biggest gap at 58.
I'm going to predict right now. I know there's 12 games left in the Bundesliga season, 12 league games left in the season. I'm going to predict the top 5 finish as they are. I don't think anybody swaps around. I think Leverkusen finished 1, Bayern finished 2, Stuttgart finished 3, and get into that much-needed Champions League spot. And Dortmund finished 4th, and Leipzig out there, unfortunately, finished 5th. I think that's how it finishes, personally.
And Stuttgart does have some hard games. You know, they got Dortmund away. They got to go away to them. Frankfurt comes to their home. Fine. They got to go to Leverkusen. Probably going to be a loss. And then Munich comes to them. That could be a win.
Yeah.
Like, Stuttgart's got some firepower now. Like, Glisseray's back. Both of them are playing together, Glisseray and Undave. And you're talking about number 2, number 4 leading goal scorers right now in the league.
Incredible.
So
you know the most crazy stat on this table for me, besides Bayer Leverkusen 18 wins, 0 losses, is the 15 goals against. Only 15 goals in 22 games that Bayer Leverkusen have played. They've allowed only 15 goals against. That is incredible.
plus 42.
I mean, that is incredible.
Like I say, you look at, I think for sure when you look at tables and you go, is this team real or legit? Always look at the plus minus. If the plus minus seems right about right,
yeah,
then they're probably right about where they're supposed to be.
You're right. You're right. It's. I'm telling you what, folks. Pay attention to the Bundesliga. Pay attention to what Bayer Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso were doing, because I'll keep using the word. It is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. All right, we've got a lot more to get to here as we finish. Oh, you know what?
Just
one more thing.
Just pay attention to the protests, because they're funny as hell.
Oh, yeah.
They're funny as hell.
Oh yeah. Oh, they
RC cars. What else are they going to come out? You should tune in next week. Just go. What else are they going to come up with? What else could they do?
I really hope
Teddy bears.
I really hope they do the silent treatment. I want to see the silent treatment
was pretty good.
Because when your team scores, if you can sit silent, oh my word, such willpower. Such willpower.
RC cars with flares.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Or
yeah.
RC cars with smoke.
Yeah.
Never would have thought of that.
9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus is where you can find the majority of the Bundesliga games. Tune in on Saturday and Sunday next week. I know I will, because I want to see what the protests are. We do have a lot more to get to. We're going to talk about the WSL record, and then we are going to explain to Nate what the wooden spoon is in the MLS. We've got a lot to get to. Do you know what the wooden spoon is, folks? If you do, stick around. We've got a lot to get to. What the hell is a wooden spoon?
I know.
We'll tell you. No, you don't. We'll tell you in a minute.
Change tempo, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Inside on touch. Play, see it, yes.
folks. Lots to get to. All right. A big thank you before we jump in and tell you what a wooden spoon is. A big thank you to our partners. Our big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all your online soccer gear needs. Big thank you to Next Level Training. My kids go to Next Level Training. Nate's kids go to Next Level Training. We're in works to get Brooks into the Next Level Training because we feel he really needs it. I watched him play on Friday. His first touch could use a little improvement. I felt his with his back to goal, he wasn't quite sure what to do. Brooks, we'll get you straightened out. Aaron, Scotty, Renato, Dylan, and the boys of Next Level Training, they'll help you, all right? We'll get you going, buddy. Big thank you to Thomas McGee's. If you're looking for a spot in Metro Detroit to go watch a soccer game with a good atmosphere and a good group, Thomas McGee's, downtown Detroit, across from Eastern Market, Thomas McGee's. And a big thank you to Michigan Jaguars, creating soccer experiences for every level and every age group. MichiganJaguars.com is where you can find more information about them. My kids play for the Jags. Nate's kid plays for the Jags. I had, I think, 6 games this weekend, full of games from the Jags. All right, listen, lots to get to here. The MLS kicks off this Wednesday. Real Salt Lake are at Inter Miami. We all know Inter Miami. They got Messi, they got Suarez, they got Jordi Alba, Busquets. Listen, it's a big deal. They've got the stars on the field, but something you don't know is the MLS have not been paying the referees quite up to standard. Brooks was telling me a stat before the show started that an MLS preseason game had how many people in attendance? It sold out 32,000 people, was it?
Sold out. There wasn't that many people.
That's okay. They sold the tickets.
Yeah.
32,000
at
tickets.
The Cotton Bowl between Inter Miami and FC Dallas.
How much did the referee, the center ref, get paid for that game, Brooks?
I think it was the whole staff only got paid like $330 for the game.
So you're telling me $330 for the referees. Messi earned more than that in the warm-up alone.
Probably when he stepped on the field.
Right, for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
We can't pay the referees more money. So MLS referees, USL Championship referees, NWSL referees are on strike. What do we need to know here, Brooks? They're not being paid enough. Their travel isn't good enough. They travel economy. They don't get to travel business class. They stay in mid to low-grade hotels from what we're understanding. These are not full-time folks. Why are they? What do you know? What are some of the details about this strike that the referees are going on? And just so everybody's aware, on the Facebook group that we do have several referees. I love it when they chime in about this stuff, and I do want people to realize. Listen, listen. I'm not a big fan of referees, but we need them. They're part of our game. If you show up and you're warming up and the other team's warming up and you don't have a referee, guess what? You don't have a game. We need referees. So I'm sticking by the referees here. Some of our good friends are referees on that group. Brooks, tell us a little bit about the strike that's happening.
I mean, listen, it's a CBA. It's a collective bargaining agreement that they have with the league. So this is what it was up January 15th. It expired.
But they kept going on.
Yes, and that's how the collective bargaining agreements go.
They kept going. They say, we're going to keep working because we're in hopes to work this out. We're going to work and we're going to stay at the same pay. But we'd like to negotiate. We're negotiating. But now it's come down to ish or get off the pot, right?
Yeah.
And what's happening?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just they got a quote here from Mark Geiger, who is one of the head referees. So
out of Michigan, I believe too.
Maybe I think Mark is. But there are a few different things. You mentioned the travel conditions. Having so many games and the payment. The one thing was the payment in respect to that. Only a certain group of referees, high-end quality referees, were getting the money. Like more money than the entire referee group. And I think all of them just said, hey, this isn't fair. If we're all going to go in this, it shouldn't be certain individuals that get paid as much. It should be the group. So Mark Geiger had a quote here, said, he's the pro general manager, Mark Geiger. So pro being the referee organization, I believe.
Professional referees organization, yep.
So time has been of the essence to conclude a fair deal and move forward together with renewed positivity ahead of our 12th year of supporting the growth of the professional game in the United States and Canada. We've made meaningful progress during recent bargaining, agreeing to fair pay increases and addressing many of the PSRA's concerns with respect to non-economic items. This represented approximately a 25% overall increase over 2023 when comparing salary, retainers, game fees, and benefits, plus the addition of business class travel for the MLS Cup playoffs. The result of the membership vote is disappointing. The PSRA has rejected a no-strike/no lockout proposal from Pro through the 2024 MLS Cup, which, along with their public strike authorization, has created significant risk as the 2024 season begins. So they're left with no choice to hold the strike and the lockout. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
go ahead, Nate. Sorry, go ahead.
There's 4 levels
Yep.
of payment for refs.
Yep.
Level 1 is $565.
We're talking about center refs, right, or just across the board?
Head refs.
Okay, head ref,
because-
$565 a
then there are
game.
lowers for assistants, $565 per game. Level 2 is $670 per game. And this is what's between level 1 and level 2. Number of games you've refed.
Yep.
Yep.
Period. Level 3, 775. Again, difference number of games you ref. Level 4, 875.
Yep.
Again, difference how many games you actually refed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the amount of money that rides on these games, the amount of money that is now coming into the MLS and these games, even USL Championship and NWSL. NWSL signed some big deals. Their games are on TV. The amount of money that's coming into these games, hey, you know what? Keep up and pay your referees correctly because billions of dollars just came into this MLS league, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but they signed a deal with Apple,
Yeah.
you know, just last year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money flowing through it now. Pay the referees
Oh,
correctly.
and I mean,
Let's get this going.
What I would be interested is what is the delta between other leagues?
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, between USL and MLS.
No, between
between, like-
MLS and
Oh, like Europe?
yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
between
What's the delta?
Premiership, La Liga,
Yeah.
the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
What's the?
I'm lazy.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna Google.
Yeah,
I would.
I would like to know as well.
But, so how far off are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is that gap?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it's based on the league revenue and everything, and that's how you attain it, obviously the Premier League's going to be so much more because they just have bigger sponsorship.
we
deals.
need to look into that. But here's the problem, boys. We're about to start the MLS season with replacement referees. I don't know if everybody remembers a couple of years ago when the NFL did this.
Actually, it worked better.
Oh, I don't know. There was
Oh,
some
yeah, they did
mistakes.
say there may.
It worked better.
I don't know. I personally think once they went back to full-time referees, the referees are like, dang, they were these guys are actually pretty good. I don't know. You know what? It don't matter. We'll see what happens. I think we're about to start off the season with amateur referees, we'll say.
What's pathetic is that they couldn't figure out a deal prior.
Right.
That's really where I look at it and go.
Well, that's just MLS trying to play hardball with them.
Again,
That's the
you're about
problem.
to start the season. If you're gonna play hardball, you wanna play hardball months before.
Right.
Correct.
That's where you draw the line, where
Yep.
you go,
Correct.
hey, we're not moving anymore. If you guys strike, you strike, and then you already get a plan going.
Agreed.
You know,
Bad negotiating from the MLS, in my opinion. I mean, it is what it is. All right. So, what is a wooden spoon?
I know what it would.
You would know what the wooden spoon. Do you want to explain to the reviewers what the MLS? We're talking about the MLS. Nate, what is the wooden spoon in the MLS?
I believe it's the bottom place team,
It is the bottom place team.
and I know this because it's been FCC in some past.
Yes, they were it for a couple of years. You're right.
Hey, we're gonna do this, and shut up.
Well, it's funny because you didn't answer who you thought the wooden spoon winner this year was going to be, but that's okay.
I was going to answer.
Well, you didn't, so now we've got some question marks. Let's put this up right
I
here.
didn't answer any of it.
I know you did. You
No, I
did.
didn't.
All right. So here's what we got. Listen, here is the We Are Soccer 2024 MLS predictions. We'll start with Danny Price. Danny couldn't be here today. He is coaching down in Florida, sunny Florida. You lucky bastard, Danny. He thinks the champions of 2024 are going to be Inter Miami. He thinks the Supporter Shield winners, that is the team who accumulate the most points, is going to be FC Cincinnati. He thinks the Golden Boot winner, the guy with the most goals throughout the year, is going to be one Lionel Messi. He thinks the the Wooden Spoon champion, least amount of points in MLS, is going to be the Portland Timbers. And he thinks the MLS MVP is going to be also Lionel Messi. Nate, my friends, you have Inter Miami winning? You have Inter Miami winning? You think?
The Supporter Shield?
No, you have Inter Miami winning being the champions.
No, that mess. I wish you would have called me.
This is what you put in the text to the group, my friend.
Nope, I said I had it reversed.
So you think it's going to be reversed?
I think it's going to be reversed.
Okay.
I think Inter Miami is going to win the Supporter Shield. I think FC Cincinnati is more designed and set up to actually win the league.
Okay. You think Messi will be the Golden Boot winner?
I think Messi is winning all the things.
All the things. And who is going to be the golden? Excuse me, I keep doing that. The
By the
wooden
way,
spoon.
Let me preface why he's winning all the things
Because
why you're wrong on what it is. Because he shouldn't have won the Ballon
Ballon d'Or.
2 years in a row. He shouldn't have won it. So he won it because his name is Messi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that he will be actually those things.
Right? No.
I'm just saying
They're
he's winning
predictions.
it because of his name.
You think
Sure.
he's going to win it because he's Lionel Messi?
Sure.
Not because he
It
deserves
doesn't matter.
By
No, I
default,
agree.
he gets
Agree.
it.
That's
He's just a really nice guy. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Look at the other ones.
I
That's all I
agree.
got to say.
All right.
It's a voting contest. It's going to be him.
It's a popularity contest.
Boom.
All
Who's his
right.
wooden spoon?
That's the.
My wooden spoon. I agree with Danny. I'm going to go Portland Timbers just to watch Brooks
All right.
poop himself.
All right.
No. I just want
Brooks-
Phil Neville to fail.
I was going to say Chicago Fire, but
then they
I
signed-
Can't. I can't now.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think that's a really good pickup for them, by the way. Kellen
It is.
Acosta, by the way, just so everybody's aware, Kellen Acosta has signed and is now the central midfielder for the Chicago Fire. We're going to have to do a road trip to go see him.
We're going to have to do a road trip to FC Cincinnati when
Yeah, we
July,
could do that as
when
well. Yeah, we
Chicago
could,
Fire
absolutely.
plays them.
So next level training,
I really
and We Are Soccer are going to go down to FC Cincinnati and Chicago and watch that game because,
no offense, I really don't want to see a soccer match played in a football stadium.
yeah, this is true. But we do get to see our good friend of the show, Kellen Acosta, play, so that'll be fun. Let's put that graphic back up. All right, Brooks. Here we go. You think the New England Revolution is going to be the champion this year?
Yep.
Really? Because they didn't make the playoffs last year, did they?
No, they did. They made the playoffs.
Barely.
They made the
Barely. They were just out.
Oh, they
anyway.
were.
Anyway. All right.
The standings up here. They were. New England finished in 5th place last year. So 9 teams made it last year.
And you think the Columbus Crew are going to be the Supporters Shield?
Yes.
They're going to come away with the most points.
So hold on. So
He's just doing that to piss you off.
So-
man.
No, he
No,
just has
hold on.
boner jams over the manager because he's French.
oh my gosh,
Boner jam in the manager.
So I think the Revs will win because Caleb Porter's always done well in the first few years when he's been with a new club. I mean,
Okay.
he won the first year with Columbus Crew in 2020. Now, given it was a COVID year, things are a little different. But
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I hope New England does win it because we know a couple of players there, right?
We do.
So Brandon Bye's there and DeJuan Jones is there.
Yes.
I would love to see them get a ring. I would absolutely love to see them win a championship. So continue on. Sorry, go
So
ahead.
yeah, that is my reasoning for New England winning the championship,
Okay.
the MLS Cup. Also, I think they're a very complete team. They've added Mensah, who Caleb did coach at Columbus, who came over from San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
They've added Nick Lima, who will be a fill-in or maybe a potential starter until Brandon Bye gets back from his injury.
Yep.
They probably need a few more attackers, but I think they're a very complete team with good veteran players and young and just a
Carlos
mixture of
Gil is
guys.
still there, and he
Yes.
was an MVP 2 years ago or
Yes.
3 years ago, whenever it was.
Correct.
Great little magician there, player who scores some goals. Yep,
Correct.
go ahead.
And I think they have a strong goal. I think the goalkeeper, losing Petrovic was a tough one, so that's probably kind of a question mark. But I think they're a team, and Caleb's always added a few different players to make a difference, and you still have the summer transfer window to add players. So, yes. So Columbus, I just think they have good momentum. I mean, Wilfred Nancy and what he did with that team last year to win MLS Cup was huge.
Yep.
I think they will be, obviously, I'm thinking they're going to be top of the Eastern Conference, but they should be up there the most of the year. So yeah, I just think Columbus have it. They gel well together.
And you and I have the same Golden Boot winner, Hani Mokhtar
Yes.
from Nashville.
Yes.
I think he finds his form again, and I think he really starts. I believe that he thinks this is his year to score as many goals as he can to get out of this. No offense when I say this, to get out of this league and go to Europe.
Sure.
He wants to go to Europe.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is what I think. This is
Saudi Arabia was the one he was trying to get to.
He just wants more money.
Yes.
Right? And this will be the year that I think he'll take that Golden Boot and win. You've got Minnesota United just as I do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both have the same reasoning for Minnesota United being the wooden spoon. I will let you take it away.
So they got rid of what's his name?
The coach they had.
Yes.
The manager they had.
Adrian Heath,
Mhm.
former Everton player. Was Orlando
He
City
was there
before.
for several years.
Yes, and Adrian Heath, can make the playoffs, but he wasn't. He's super inconsistent as a head coach. He was the same way in Orlando, and I expected no different from the way at Minnesota. So you get rid of him, And then Sean McCulley, who's the next guy ahead as an assistant coach, who I knew when I was with the Portland Timbers. I got to meet him a few times. And then was with Orlando at age. I think it was with Adrian in Orlando for a little bit. They didn't want to give him the job. So Sean's like, bye-bye. And now he's the Indy 11 head coach in USL Championship because he wanted a chance to be a head coach somewhere.
Sure.
And I think, he very much so deserved a spot. So
and now they have an interim coach,
Cameron Knowles.
Cameron Knowles.
Who's always been a second team. He's been an assistant when he was at Portland. He was a first team assistant, like not a top one, but like a middle of the road one.
Yep.
And then he's always been, a head coach for a reserve team.
And 3 years ago, he came to Minnesota and he was a video analyst.
Mm-hmm.
He's a video analyst, and 3 years on, he's now the head coach.
Yeah.
That's quite a turnaround. Interim head coach, excuse me, but he's still the guy leading the charge.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that is quite a historic rise.
Yes.
And this is why I believe you and I have the same take for Minnesota United. You will be the wooden spoon winner.
They actually have decent players with getting Timo Pukki last year, and they
that
still have
was a great
Reynoso, and they have Ruben Lode, and Hassani Dotson's coming back, and they just signed Derek Dotson, who may be a good right back for them from the USL Championship side, Charleston Battery. So it's not a terrible team, but when you're going to play with an interim head coach and then you finally find one and then the style and everything changes, and that coach may not want these players that are in here.
Agreed.
That is the problem.
Yeah. I understood. All right. Now, you've got Messi as the MVP of the league.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to play to MVP standards, or are you picking him to win the MVP because, just like Nate said, his name's Lionel Messi?
No, I'm picking him because I think he will play to the MVP standards. He will show up and play. He will be that person. Miami need him. They are in trouble because the league is telling them you've hit your cap here.
Yeah.
You can no longer pay all these people, and you have to start to get rid of people. And they got rid of Gregor. He's going back to Brazil. They may have to take pay cuts with Yedlin and whatnot. So they are in trouble. They don't have to rely on these 5 guys they paid a lot of money. And that's why I don't think they're going to win MLS Cup because they cannot do it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, just like Barcelona can't spend any more money because of financial rules, and City's going to really go under because the FA's going to crush. Nope.
So
Nope.
those leagues don't
find
have
a way.
salary caps.
Curtail those rules around them, Nate?
Yeah.
Those leagues don't have salary caps.
Oh, yeah. Who sets the salary cap, just out of curiosity?
The league.
Oh, the league.
Yeah.
And who has the most gain for Messi doing successful?
No, they're going to make
The
sure
league.
everyone has is fair.
And
okay.
oh, yeah, sure. And who runs the league, Brooks?
Don?
No, he doesn't. Who runs the league, Brooks?
The owners?
Okay. So let's all put it together now.
Nah, Don runs the league.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Don reports to the owners.
He reports to the owners, and if the owners get pissed, he's gone.
There'll be a lot of people inside the game that would tell you differently.
Sure.
I think we could go on all day about this, but I do think it's interesting that you've kind of changed your mind on Messi a little bit. What you're saying is
he's playing a full year now.
Yeah, what you're
Okay,
saying
he's
is
in a
he's not.
full
His
year.
body isn't going to break down, and he will play that most of the year.
I'm saying he will play. So let's see what
Does he have to
if
take-
they play. I'll say between 50 games they'll play at least in the regular season. Then I think he'll at least play a little more than half of them.
Okay.
He may not play away on the turf. Because he may not. He may not
So
do
he's
that.
not going to go to Toronto. He's not going to go to
Toronto has grass, Craig, not turf. It's Vancouver that has turf.
That's it.
But
Sorry.
hold on.
Sorry.
Yes.
He did go away and play in a lot of those
Atlanta.
places.
Didn't he play in Atlanta?
Oh, he did,
played in
didn't he?
Atlanta.
He went and
Yeah.
played in a lot.
Yeah,
he
the
did.
The only question I have is he going to be pulled away for the Copa?
Correct. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think he will play in a good amount of games. It may not be all of them 100%, but I think it will be in that 70 to 75% range. He'll do enough. There'll be some big games where they dominate and beat teams 5-0, and he's got 2 goals and 3 assists and
All right.
everything.
So go ahead, Nate.
So my only problem with your New England pick,
Okay.
don't get all statty on me.
All right.
And don't get all
Don't bring your data points.
don't no, because they're never
96% of data points are fake.
Don't
anyway.
pull out your heat map and don't tell me about he's going to coach him up and blah. Just hear me out for a second.
Okay.
A lot of the teams you look across,
Mhm.
they got better. They picked up players that are going to make a significant impact.
Mhm.
New England didn't. They didn't pick up a marquee player or a player that I could see. Could they have potential? Sure. Potential's a 50-50 chance of being right and being wrong. They didn't pick up players like, you look at Cincy,
They got Miles Robinson.
That's a great pickup, by the way.
That's a great pickup.
Yeah, but they did lose a lot of guys. I was him and Han if I wanted to put them on there, and I was like, I don't feel
Corey
like
Bird, and who isn't bad.
You guys
look at
but Corey Bayard's not Vasquez.
You look at Chicago. Chicago picked up Acosta just as an example.
Chicago picked up a couple of other.
He picked up a
players as
couple.
well, yeah.
So I'm just saying. I'm not trying to crap on it.
Well,
I'm saying my only issue with that is it just appears, and I could be wrong because you don't know. I get it. But it appears that they didn't really get significantly better, like some of the other teams that went out there and got played.
It's a fair assessment for someone's opinion.
I mean, I think Orlando picked up a few guys.
Yeah,
to
Orlando
get
picked
them
up
better.
a few. That's a good example as well.
Philly, to me, hasn't gotten better. They're still the same.
No, but Philly has their system there. They just kind of they're not going to do that.
Atlanta's like, I think Nashville, they got rid of some guys. They picked some, they finished in 7th last year. I think Charlotte got maybe finished below the playoff line. I think Montreal got worse. I think they'll be towards the bottom.
It's interesting. None of us picked Philadelphia Union to finish as a champion or Border Shield winner. I
just think that time of what they do, it's starting to fizzle out.
I was about to say.
I think it's starting to fizzle.
Their reign is coming. Not rain, but I think we're all.
I don't think they have any top academy kids really coming through that are like the Aronson brothers and whatnot. They have Brandon Craig who they loaned out to El Paso, but they're not playing them because they want to play Glesnes and Elliott ahead of them, so. But anyways, I was going to mention my sleeper picks actually for the Eastern and Western Conference.
Whoa, sleeper picks.
Yeah.
Picks. You have multiple. How about we go with one for each conference, my friends?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we could be all here. You'd name every single team as a sleeper pick if you could.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and give me your sleeper pick.
Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Chicago Fire.
I like that. Okay, because of the changes they've made.
I think they can make the playoffs. They've made some interesting additions.
Okay.
I don't know if Frank Klopas makes it the whole year. He may get canned or whatever. I don't know, but I think they can at least make the playoffs.
Okay.
Stadium's so bad though.
It is so bad.
And
all
then
right.
my one for the Western Conference, FC Dallas.
Okay. Yeah.
They were in the playoffs, but I think they can get up in that
higher.
5 and higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you my picks. I think FC Cincinnati are not only the champions, but also the Supporters Shield winner. Now, I do know that most of the time, like 95% of the time, 99% of the time, when someone wins the Supporters Shield, picks up the most points of the year, they do not win the championship. I think FC Cincinnati this year get it done. I think Pat Noonan has done an absolutely incredible job the last couple of years. This is a year they put it together. The Golden Boot winner for me is Mani Hakhtar. Brooks, I agree with you. What?
Big wrong on that one.
Big wrong. You think it's going to be Luciano Acosta?
I think it's going to be Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. I don't see Messi, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I don't think Messi is going to be the Golden Boot winner. Tell you why in a minute. Hani Mokhtar goes off and scores goals this year. Wooden Spoon, Minnesota United, we already went over that. Interim coach, issues, star player issues, blah, blah, blah. Minnesota United, you suck.
Is the Golden Boot based on
most goals?
Most goals, yeah.
Most goals.
So it's actually a statistical measurement.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
All right. So my Messi pick is probably wrong.
And this is why I think that he doesn't win, because he now has his good friend Suarez there. I think Suarez will score goals in bunches. I really actually thought maybe he could be the Golden Boot winner, but he's so old that I don't think he scores quite as often as he would have a couple of years ago. So I think Hani Mokhtar picks up that and takes the Golden Boot. But I do think the MVP award goes to Suarez, because I think he plays in a lot of games and helps Messi become a better player. Messi will pick up a lot of assists because of Suarez. Suarez is going to eat this league alive if he's healthy. So just my 2 cents. Hey, we're going to put that up one more time. Here it is. The only thing I do need to change is Nate's Inter Miami FC Cincinnati there, Superior Shield and Championship winner. Other than that, we're very close. But there's what he got. Danny chimed in. He is away for the weekend, as we said, but he was able to get his picks over to us. So thanks. Let us know, guys, who you think is going to be the MLS champion, the Supporters Shield winner, the Wooden Spoon recipient, the Golden Boot, and the MVP. Put those in the comments. We'd love to read them, and some of the good ones we'll read off. Listen, some fun things happened this week. I don't know if you guys heard this. Jurgen Klinsmann was sacked by South Korea after losing to Jordan in the Asian Cup semifinal.
So freeze up his return to the United States.
Yeah.
You think he's coming back to? You wish he was coming back.
Him and Terry Henry. I
They're
took
gonna
that
come up.
bone, so you disagree
Right,
with me.
right.
Disagree with me now.
Area.
Disagree with me now.
No, I think that'd be a good coaching staff.
Yeah.
Aaron Klinsman, Thierry Henry work with the forwards. Back
All-
to Vera, you got the midfielders.
All the
Tim
credit
Howard,
we
you
built
got the
up over the
goalkeepers.
years for this show is now just gone down.
I
the
know how to
toilet.
butter this man's biscuits.
It just went down the toilet. All the
Is-
credit we've.
is super
Yeah.
pissed at.
You know, it's tough when you lose to a country named after a person, Jordan.
Oh
you know?
boy.
They're always good, right?
He's one of the greatest basketball players there.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from that, boys. All right, you know where we are going to go? I want to knock you both out after saying that and wasting 60 seconds of our time. Speaking of punching and getting knocked out, Wayne Rooney is in talks to be a boxer. He wants to do a
Oh, I saw
boxing
this.
event. What the
He used to
hell?
box as a kid. I from his documentary I saw, he
Yeah,
did
he
that.
likes boxing.
Yeah.
Does someone want to tell him that he's still looking for a head coaching job? He wants to be a manager somewhere in the world. This is not the way to get back into that.
So the former,
Don't ruin more of your reputation by this.
you know what's funny is the former Sunderland manager that they fired that took over at Birmingham has done better in the short stint than he is
I
actually.
do know this.
Yeah.
They fired
They-
him.
yeah.
They fired the other manager
Yeah.
to put in Wayne Rooney, and the other manager had them in 5th position. Wayne Rooney took them all the way down to 20th.
Yes.
The new manager come in charge hasn't done too much better, but has definitely done better than Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney's about to get his head boxed in by someone in a boxing
Who do
event.
you think he's going to fight?
Oh, I have no. Good Lord, who knows? It'll be another celebrity probably.
You think so?
Be very
What's
strange.
his, one of his former Man United teammates?
Oh no. Who was the fella? He was the Sunderland, Villa, and Man United player who he was friends with. They were doing a little boxing in a video, and his friend kind of gave him one and knocked him out cold.
Yeah, I think there was, could have
wasn't-
been
was it
alcohol
Bardsley?
involved in there.
There was what?
I think there could have been alcohol involved in there.
Just a little
bit.
Just a little
Yeah.
Bardsley. What was his name?
Maybe the event.
Bard's
Maybe the
best
event
mouth.
should be his wife fighting Vardy's wife.
I think that would be a great one. I think it
Yes.
could be a tag team. It could be
Yes.
Vardy and his wife versus Colleen and Wayne Rooney. That would be interesting. Although Colleen might turn around and knock Wayne out for all the shit he's done.
Yeah.
And admitted to, by the way. Some other quick news. Adidas are reportedly preparing to launch a signature boot for Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham about to get a lot richer. He is right now in talks with Adidas. He's going to launch a signature boot with his signature look and becoming the brand and the icon, just like the Jordan logo. This could earn him millions of dollars. Now, I would have said if this had come out a couple of months ago, just as he was entering Real Madrid, I said, I don't know about this. Guys, I have seen a ton of kids wearing Jude Bellingham Real Madrid shirts around the area.
Yep.
It's actually blown my mind how many people are paying attention to Jude Bellingham and Real Madrid. I think he's going to sell a ton of these boots for Adidas.
Yep.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
It's a good idea.
It is.
I mean, Messi has his boot for Adidas, and
Yeah.
Ronaldo's got his for Nike.
I don't wear Adidas boots anymore. Just personally, it's come down to a preferential thing. I wear Nike.
Sure.
They form fit my foot better. But if
Yeah.
I was younger and didn't really care, I'd probably buy some Jude Bellingham boots.
I tell you what, Adidas needed someone like this after Messi's it's coming to the end here. They needed a young guy that and they needed just to get their product to catch up to Nike.
If you were a footwear like a giant like Adidas or Nike in the soccer space, or Puma, or someone like that, who would you put your money on if you could go get anybody? Would it be a Haaland? Would it be a maybe a Rasmus Højlund with the way he's scoring goals? Nate, where would you put your money? Because Messi, by the way, is obviously tied up with Adidas and heading towards the end of his career. But if you're going to sign a 10-year deal with someone, where do you put your money, my friend, if you're one of the footwear giants?
I'd want someone controversial. Someone that mixes things up.
Jadon Sancho.
Get eyes. No, controversial the right reason.
Oh, the right way. Okay.
Yeah,
Like Zlatan?
It makes it. Yeah, can I get Zlatan to come back out of retirement to play?
He'd be 40,
You could probably even have him out of
43,
retirement, and he needs
42.
sell more than certain players that are still playing.
You got to pick someone in their early 20s, right?
I want a bad boy.
You want a bad boy?
Something to mix things up to get eyes on my products.
Yeah.
Not
Mason Greenwood.
not. We got to tone it down a little bit then. A little. Yeah, that's.
Oh, come back.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
That might be a little bit
Too controversial.
Who's the guy who kicked the cat?
Zuma.
Yeah, Kurt Zuma is my
Zuma.
Yeah, here's how
He could be for Puma.
here's how the commercial is gonna work. You're gonna have a cat
Zuma
walking around.
Pumas?
Zuma Puma.
Well, you gotta listen to my commercial. He's gonna cat walking around, it's like, meow, meow, and like he'll go eat out a bowl and it'd be like, if you value your cat and you want to feed him right, and then all of a sudden Zuma's gonna come and just boom, kick him like through the uprights, right? And like then he's gonna turn around and go, screw them cats!
Screw the cat.
And then he's gonna put it. We're just gonna cut right to the shoe.
I
Why
mean,
hasn't Mbappe had a deal like this?
that's a good question.
Well, if I wanted skill, I'd go Mbappe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I want eyes on my product. I'm going Kurt Zuma kicking a cat.
he's so
for an
young.
upright.
I love the Zuma answer.
He's so young, Mbappe, and he's going to make that big move to Real Madrid.
Wait,
You know?
hold on. I'm going to expand my commercial now.
Yes.
Aliens land, and these aliens are feline, and they start taking over the world, right?
Cat aliens.
Yes. And then, like at the podium, the head cat alien guy is talking about enslaving humans, and all of a sudden, Kurt Zuma, boom, kicks him right through the uprights.
Well, you know what?
Zumas.
You know what?
My Puma.
I'm a creative director. We're going to take your idea. We're going to change it just a little bit. What happens if the big spaceship lands and one giant cat comes off and he goes, all cats have been aliens, and we've been watching you through the cats. And they're going to take over the world, and then we need a hero.
Yeah,
we need
Kurt
a hero
Zuma's
to come
that
to the
hero.
rescue. Kurt Zuma to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
You all thought I was a jerk for kicking the cat.
I was right. I
was
knew
just
all
trying
along.
to defend the planet.
Yeah.
God damn it.
He was just trying to help save the world.
Zumas. Defend the planet.
Zuma
Oh my
Pumas.
God, that's your tagline right there.
Zuma Pumas.
Defend the planet.
Defend the planet. I like it.
Oh!
Does Mbappe have a deal with someone? Is he under contract with?
I thought maybe
Is he a Nike
it
guy?
Adidas?
But he doesn't have. But
But
he's
there's no
not, like,
signature boot out there.
correct. Like I'm surprised soccer hasn't done this like Jordan did with Nike. Like I'm
Well,
surprised.
Jude Bellingham is becoming the next,
Correct.
but it's for Adidas.
Correct.
tell you why. He plays in a league that nobody freaking watches.
Well,
Everybody
correct.
knows
When he
him,
goes
though.
when he
Everybody knows
goes to
him.
Madrid,
Then that'll
Oh, that's
happen.
when
that's when it's
Okay.
It's going to happen before he goes to Madrid.
Yeah.
I think Nike have probably been in contact with him and have said, the instant you sign that deal, we'll sign you to this deal,
Yeah.
and you'll be the name of our brand.
Oh, I got one. Who? Right? Scott McTominay. McToms.
The McTom?
Yes.
That's going to be like a
McToms.
Skechers deal, right?
it's gonna be two cement bricks on your feet, and you don't just move around. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Skechers, they tied a 10 or whatever
They
year
make
deal,
Tom.
To Harry
multi-year
Kane.
deal to Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So Skechers have their man.
Yeah.
We've already decided that
Zuma Pumas.
Zuma,
Zuma Pumas.
Zuma for Puma.
Yeah.
Defend the planet.
Defend the planet.
Yeah.
Adidas are going with Bellingham.
Yes.
So Nike will most likely go with
Mbappe. Probably.
Mbappe.
Yeah, 'cause
Timberland
they need a
boot.
new guy after Ronaldo.
Timberland
you know?
boots are going to go with Scott McTominay.
Yeah.
Oh, steel toe? Yeah, for the average.
Steel toes. Yeah, steel
Yeah.
toe work boots.
For the average guy.
Allow you to complete 10 passes in 45 minutes of play.
Yeah.
The Mikatomes.
And they're going to look like work boots as well.
I'd be like,
Going
Brown
to be
and
work
weird.
boots.
They're
I was thinking,
exactly
like-
going to be work
That
boots.
look like they're actually going to be work boots.
I was thinking like kick the crap out of construction or something, you know?
Oh, my
Yeah.
word.
It's literally Mikatome working on a construction site. It had nothing to do with soccer whatsoever.
Him and Casemiro standing next to each
It's like-
other saying, these boots are really good. Oh, here comes someone. Kick. Oh, shoot. Just,
Oh, they are
missed,
steel
just missed him. Broke his leg, though.
No, I think they should just be like on a job site.
Just be on a job site standing around.
Moving cement. Like
Yeah.
actually working.
Any other boots that we could...
Any player?
What other boots are out there?
I'm surprised Holland doesn't have his own signature one, too.
Who's he under contract?
He's
He's
with
got to be
Puma.
under contract. Is he with Puma?
I think so. I'm just shocked they
why
haven't
isn't
made
the
one
Holland?
for him, too.
Why isn't the Holland boots come out?
Oh.
Is that? It's not really a thing like with basketball. The Jordans, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
You don't
wanted
have
the
a lot of them.
Jordans. There's not really. I think a Messi has a boot, and he's got a signature M, which is kind of awkward.
If it was
but-
Giroud in his prime, it would be hair care products.
Ruud Van Nistelrooy?
No, Giroud.
Giroud.
Yes,
Oh, all right.
yes.
I don't know.
Like Suave for men.
Beckham
Suave
had a
Giroud.
deodorant.
Straight
and,
up, you know who could get a shoe deal
Who's this?
if he keeps going the way he's going?
Who's this?
Pulisic.
Sure, he's done well.
Oh,
I mean, he's with
He's
Puma.
with Puma. He's with Puma, but he doesn't have his own
brand.
boot. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's America, dude. Largest market, one of the largest markets. there
Agreed.
is.
I'm surprised they haven't tried that with Puma.
The only
honestly.
issue with that is he's moved away from the Premiership, and not a ton of people watch his games in
Still
the
does
Serie
well in
A.
the Serie A, like he's still doing. I think he could earn one at one point.
Yeah, I mean,
Or Weston. Weston's got a bad kind of like a bad boy reputation. I'm surprised someone hasn't tried with him either. He's not big enough though, I guess, than Pulisic.
yeah, I think it would be bigger for Pulisic if he had stayed in the Premiership, right? Even if he had stayed with a Bournemouth, a Brentford, a mid-table Brighton, a team like that, he'd get more eyes on him.
Yep.
We just don't see much of him anymore now that he's in Serie A. It's just, it's unfortunate, but he is with Puma. He's the face of Puma for American soccer.
Yep.
I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Captain Puma America.
Yeah, and you know where you can pick up all these wonderful shoes at Soccer World?
Yes.
Soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. I may have to head there, actually. Pick up some of these boots. We'll see if they have the Jude Bellingham boots.
I'm sure they will.
He's got the iconic logo. They're saying it's a lot like the Jordan logo, right? The Bellingham is
It's
with
a
him.
celebration, right?
It's a celebration where he goes to the fans and does this, right? So that's it. They're comparing it to the Jordan deal. It's in talks. I'm interested to see what the final figures are. He's going to earn a ton of money, by the way.
Sure.
Speaking of Real Madrid and Mbappe this week, rumors are, I believe Fabrizio Romano posted this, Mbappe informed his teammates that he is not signing with PSG, and he will not be signing. Now, this will be the third time he's told PSG, by the way, because he signed an extension every year for the last 2 years. He said, I'm not signing. They talked him into it. They gave him more money.
He's like, oh, I'm going to Arsenal.
Right, Arsenal, right. Then this past summer, we all thought, all right, he's going to go to Real Madrid. Oh, nope. He signed another PSG contract because they talked him into it. He is earning a boatload of money, and it is going to take an absolute horrendous paycheck to get him to Real Madrid. He has informed, apparently, rumor has, he's informed Real Madrid he wants to go. He's now informed his teammates at PSG that he will be leaving at the end of the year after he picks up the Coupe de France and wins League One. He's off on his way. He will be unstoppable, as we've talked about many times here. Yeah. Real Madrid will be unstoppable when Kylian Mbappe.
In Real Madrid, that's an Adidas. They're Adidas brand, right?
They are.
Huh.
They are. Yeah, so it's
like Adidas had two superstars with Mbappe and Bellingham on the same team.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I'm just saying from a product standpoint.
Do you know how many shirts they are going to sell?
Oh, for sure.
When Kylian Mbappe gets the Los Blancos whites. Mm-hmm. Oh my word! You're
going to see a bunch of kids in America walking around Bellingham and Mbappe jerseys.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I mean,
with Real Madrid, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't often wear jerseys of teams that I don't own very many jerseys that aren't Aston Villa jerseys, right? I own a Detroit City jersey.
Sure.
I have an Inter Miami jersey. No name on the back. I may be tempted to buy a Real Madrid Bellingham jersey. Sure. Yeah, I do own a Real Madrid David Beckham jersey. From way back in the day. I don't even know where that went to. Maybe in my parents' house. Anyway, all right, that's going to wrap us up. Big thank you to our partners. Thank you, Soccer World. Thank you, Next Level Training. Thank you to the Michigan Jaguars. Thank you to Thomas McGee's. Appreciate the love and support you have for us. Everybody watching, do us a huge favor. Give us a like, give us a subscription, give us a share, no matter what platform you're on. If you're listening to this on a podcast, give us 5 stars. It really does go a long way. For me and the boys here, and for Danny, who couldn't be with us this week, we'll see you same time, same place next week. And we're out. Cheers, guys.